Vinicius has delivered a harsh ultimatum to Real Madrid. Is Chelsea seriously preparing to steal a key Galactico from the Bernabeu? Benzema has started a rebellion in Saudi Arabia, but what is the real reason behind the conflict? Liverpool has finally found a replacement for Mo Salah at PSG, and the name will shock you. All this and much more in today's episode. Slam that like button and let's dive into the maddest transfer rumors right now. Karim Benzema is stuck in the one problem Saudi projects can't just outbid, a renewal dispute with their biggest name. His Al Ittihad deal expires in the summer, so talks are underway, and they've deteriorated to the point where he's now refusing to play. Foot Mercado framed this as Benzema's call, with him drawing a firm line over the club's latest proposal. The report says he's so unhappy with the offer that he has told the club he will not take part in Al Ittihad's match against Al Fada, and that he is refusing to play while the dispute continues. Either way, this is a live confrontation, not normal contract back and forth. With 6 months left, the situation has escalated to involve the club's owners and an extension attempt that hasn't landed on the expected terms. The dispute is financial, and more specifically about how the money is built. Benzema and his entourage believe the terms have shifted from what was agreed, with the club now floating a pay cut. The proposed structure reportedly removes fixed salary entirely and depends only on him earning 100% of his image rights. Against his current $108 million a year deal, that essentially means nothing on the salary line. There is also a claim of a verbal agreement to renew on similar financial terms to what he earns now. Instead, the latest proposal is a major reduction, and the talks have collapsed. Al Ittihad didn't sign Benzema quietly. They put him forward as the face and sporting leader of the project. The media impact was instant, but these negotiations have badly strained the relationship. Benzema's stance is clear. His status and output justify staying on the same conditions. Al Ittihad's offer sits far lower, and that's where things have snapped. The report says he has taken the reduced proposal both personally and professionally. Al Ittihad are trying to cool it down, but Benzema has made it clear he won't budge. That has consequences. Saudi Arabia risks losing one of its biggest stars, and Europe suddenly has an opening. A return to European football is now being discussed because of this standoff. Benzema is 38, but still believes he can compete at the highest level. He is rejecting the deal on financial grounds and professional pride. So this isn't a player chasing a bonus. It's a renewal that has turned into a full dispute with 6 months left. If it isn't settled, the summer becomes the exit point. Liverpool are planning for a future where Mohamed Salah is no longer the automatic answer on the right. If that's the reality, the replacement list can't be clever. It has to be top-tier, costly, and ready immediately. Caught offside link Liverpool with an approach for Paris Saint-Germain forward Ousmane Dembélé as a long-term Salah successor, with Liverpool monitoring his contract situation in Paris. Quick pause, friends. Drop a like or a dislike on this episode. Any reaction matters. Thanks for the activity. It genuinely helps the channel. The broader picture is straightforward. Salah's long-term future at Anfield looks increasingly uncertain, with tensions between his camp and Liverpool's hierarchy building for months. There's also a growing sense that his time on Merseyside could be approaching the finish line. That sort of departure creates two holes at once. One is tactical, because Liverpool's right side has been built around Salah's numbers for years. The other is symbolic, because replacing a defining figure becomes a message, whether the club wants that or not. That's why Dembélé comes up. The role fits the right flank: speed, direct running, and one-to-one threat that forces teams to adjust. He has also looked effective under Luis Enrique inside a more disciplined tactical setup. If Liverpool want to reshape the attack without it reading like a downgrade, this is the caliber of wide player they consider. The thinking inside the club is that adding elite quality out wide can spark an attack that has looked predictable at times this season. There are also reports that Dembélé is attracted to the Premier League. That matters, because this kind of deal needs player commitment, major wages, and a clear job description. Right now, nothing is settled. PSG don't want to sell, but Dembélé's situation in Paris isn't locked down. Contract talks have stalled, and the sticking point is money. The draft says he wants a package worth about £51 million per year, roughly £500k per week. That figure dictates everything. If the demand is accurate, Liverpool either enter a top of Europe wage tier or they step away. Liverpool also know delay invites rivals. The idea is to act fast when the summer window opens, trying to strike early instead of being pulled into an auction. Liverpool are mapping out what a post-Salah frontline could look like. Dembélé is one of the names that fits the world-class right-side game-breaking criteria. Whether it happens is still uncertain. The outcome is simple. If that wage number stands, Liverpool either pay it or the move collapses quickly. Leon Goretzka's next few days come with a hard cutoff. Atletico Madrid want the deal wrapped before the window closes on February 1st. The obstacle is clear. Goretzka still hasn't decided whether he wants to move right now. Sky Germany journalist Florian Plettenberg links Atletico with a late push and says Goretzka remains undecided as time runs out. Financially, it's messy. One fee being mentioned is around €20 million, while his market value is about €15 million. The timing makes it even more awkward because he becomes a free agent next summer. Paying a January premium for someone who could cost nothing in a few months shows how tight the winter market is, and how much Atletico want this type of midfielder. Atletico view the on-pitch fit as obvious. Goretzka is a high-level central midfielder who can cover multiple roles. He brings passing, carrying, physical presence, and shooting from distance. In a Diego Simeone side, that flexibility creates options across different midfield shapes and game states. From Bayern's side, the logic is similar. A fee now is money for a player who could otherwise walk for free in the summer. That's the entire reason winter deals happen, even when the buyer pays extra. But the current signs point the other way. Goretzka looks more likely to stay and see out the season with Bayern, even with Atletico ready to raise their offer. And the numbers still don't match. Alongside the €20 million figure, Atletico are also willing to pay a maximum fee of €5 million. Bayern would save €6–7 million in wages for the rest of the season. Put together, the conclusion doesn't change. Staying until the end of the season remains the most likely outcome unless something unexpected shifts. If he stays, Atletico still want him as a free agent in the summer. If he leaves before the window closes, Bayern are not planning to sign a replacement. Real Madrid are dealing with an awkward uncertainty around Vinicius Jr. The renewal has stalled, and there is still no official agreement. His current contract runs to the summer of 2027, but Madrid want a longer commitment because of his sporting and commercial value. El Nacional attribute the delay to a salary gap. Vinicius wants a clear timeline to complete the renewal, and he wants it done before April. If there's no breakthrough, he keeps the option of listening to offers elsewhere. The central number is around €30 million per year. Madrid are not prepared to sign off on that amount right now. And it isn't just one player's deal. A salary at that level collides with Madrid's wage policy and the dressing room balance because it becomes the new benchmark. Vinicius also doesn't want this drifting into, "We'll talk later." He has set a condition. Madrid have the next few months to resolve it positively. If they don't, he is prepared to leave in the next summer transfer window. Interest is already building from major European clubs and from teams in the Saudi Professional League. He's 25, and if he decides his Madrid chapter is closing, he only moves at the very top end of the European market. So Madrid's call is blunt. Either they take the financial step to keep Vinicius, or they hold firm to their principles and accept the risk of losing him next summer. Manchester City are acting early to try to keep Bernardo Silva beyond this season. His contract expires in the summer, so the clock matters. If City want to stay in control, they need a decision before he hits the final stretch and can leave for free. Team Talk reports City want a new 2-year deal to keep the 31-year-old at the Etihad, despite interest elsewhere. That outside interest is wide-ranging. Barcelona are back in the mix, and Galatasaray have been linked too. There have also been recurring connections to the Saudi Pro League, with Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr mentioned. Here's the leverage point. Once the deal runs out, City lose their grip on the situation. A short extension keeps him in the squad and removes the immediate deadline. City wants Silva to stay and to fend off approaches from abroad. The proposed extension includes a strong financial package, reflecting his place among the Premier League's top midfielders. Pep Guardiola sits at the center of it. He has told Silva he wants him to remain a key part of the squad. He has also highlighted qualities he considers non-negotiable in his system. Guardiola has praised Silva as one of the most intelligent players he has coached. City can't dictate one part of this. Other clubs can afford to wait. Barcelona and Galatasaray are exploring a pre-contract agreement for next summer, when Silva could move as a free agent. Barcelona's interest is long-standing, and they are ready to act if a free transfer opens up. For Barcelona, it's a low-risk way to add an experienced midfielder without a fee. City believes Silva is content at the club and values competing at the highest level under Guardiola. That becomes important in this moment. Guardiola wants him for his experience and total familiarity with the system, at a time when City are in a transitional phase. Chelsea are lining up a summer move that would instantly change the scale of their window. The plan is to put a €150 million offer on the table for Real Madrid midfielder Jude Bellingham. If you measure ambition in cash, this is Chelsea trying to jump straight back into the top bracket. Speaking of ambition, I notice a lot of you have the ambition to watch every video but zero ambition to actually subscribe. Unlike Chelsea, I'm not asking for €150 million, just one click. don't be a free agent forever. Fichajes attach the numbers and the timing to the idea. Bellingham is 22 and still one of the most coveted midfielders in the game, so the reasoning is obvious. You don't get many chances to buy a player like this. The opening comes from the contrast between his first season in Madrid and his second. After a debut where he dominated La Liga and the Champions League with goals and late box runs, this year has looked more uneven. There have been murmurs in Spain that Madrid could listen if the offer matches his market value. Chelsea's pitch is simple. They want a midfield that can control elite matches with Bellingham as the centerpiece. He fits the type they want, carries through pressure, arrives late to score, and still contributes defensively. Even in a season some describe as below his best, he has 6 goals and 4 assists in 26 appearances. For most midfielders, that's a banner year. For Bellingham, it's treated as a dip. There's also the England angle. A Premier League return is being discussed as something that could appeal. It's the league where he first announced himself as a generational talent. The case is that the tempo and familiarity of English football could help him sharpen back up after a demanding spell in Spain. Chelsea also seem to think Bellingham isn't completely untouchable at the Bernabeu anymore. Madrid's midfield is changing, with younger options and tactical shifts shaping the long-term plan. Bellingham still has 3.5 years left on his current contract, so this isn't a sell or lose him setup. It comes down to whether the offer becomes impossible to ignore. The timing also overlaps with another thread, speculation that Cole Palmer could push to leave Stamford Bridge this year. He's had an injury-hit campaign, and there have been reports linking him with a move to Manchester United if possible. That creates a wider market picture where elite English talent is being pulled in multiple directions at once. Madrid wouldn't be expected to actively force Bellingham out, but 150 million euros is the kind of fee that demands an answer, financially and strategically. If it happened, it would sit among the most expensive transfers in football history. It would also operate as Chelsea's signal that they're done with small steps. The board also see the commercial upside of signing one of England's biggest stars as part of the equation, and as something that could help offset the spend. This isn't a routine upgrade. Chelsea see Bellingham as the heartbeat of a new era. A leader, a match winner, and proof the club is trying to plant itself back at the very top. Madrid's decision is the pivot. Chelsea are ready to put 150 million euro on the table and force that moment. Tottenham are thin on wide options, and the market has offered a familiar solution, an experienced winger with no transfer fee attached. Raheem Sterling is available as a free agent after leaving Chelsea by mutual agreement. On Wednesday, he agreed to terminate the final 18 months of his contract at Stamford Bridge. Team talk put Tottenham in a strong position. Spurs are seriously considering a move, and Thomas Frank is on board with the idea. The attraction is obvious. Tottenham are balancing the Premier League and the Champions League. Sterling's speed, dribbling, and big-game resume give them wing depth without paying a fee. But it follows a difficult period. Sterling joined Chelsea from Manchester City in 2022 for £47.5 million. He struggled for consistent minutes across a tough 3.5-year spell. He hasn't played competitively since May 2025. Last season at Arsenal on loan, he didn't make a significant impact either. Tottenham still remain in the frame. A move across North London should not be totally ruled out, with Spurs needing experienced cover out wide. Sterling also wants to stay in London for family reasons. West Ham United, Fulham, and Crystal Palace have all been mentioned as interested. Napoli are keen, but the wages are the sticking point. Sporting director Giovanni Manna says a move is difficult because of Sterling's significant financial expectations. Sterling was earning more than $300K a week at Chelsea, and any Napoli deal depends on him accepting a sizable reduction. MLS interest in the United States has also been mentioned as he looks for regular football, with the 2026 World Cup in mind. For Tottenham, the fee makes it low risk, and the salary becomes the real price. This only happens if the numbers work.